Becky Lynch sucker punches Maxxine Dupri backstage for the Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch just threw the first punch in what could become the most explosive feud of the year. The man went from 0 to 100 backstage, and Maxxine Dupri never saw it coming. This is about respect. This is about gold. And this changes everything. What's up, Wrestling Verse family? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the biggest moments, the most shocking angles, and the feuds that have the entire WWE universe talking. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell because you do not want to miss a single second of wrestling chaos. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most unexpected confrontations we've seen in recent memory. Becky Lynch, the man, the legend, the former champion of everything, just laid out Maxxine Dupri in a backstage attack that nobody predicted. And at the center of it all, the prestigious Intercontinental Championship. Let's break this down piece by piece, because this story is loaded with layers. First, let's talk about what makes this situation so monumental. The Intercontinental Championship isn't just another belt. This is the title that legends built their careers on. We're talking about Randy Savage, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Chris Jericho, the list goes on and on. This championship has always represented the workhorse of WWE. The wrestler who holds this title is someone who shows up every single night, puts on incredible matches, and proves they belong in the main event conversation. Now, Becky Lynch. She's conquered everything in the women's division. She's been Raw Women's Champion. She's been SmackDown Women's Champion. She main evented WrestleMania. The man has done it all. But here's the thing about true competitors, they're never satisfied. Becky has been vocal about wanting new challenges, fresh competition, and proving that she can hang with anybody in that locker room, regardless of division or gender. The Intercontinental Championship represents uncharted territory. A new mountain to climb. A chance to make history again. And then there's Maxxine Dupri. If you've been sleeping on Maxxine, it's time to wake up. This woman has been putting in work week after week. She's evolved from her days with Maximum Male Models into a serious competitor who's been making waves in every match she's in. Maxxine has that rare combination of athleticism, charisma, and determination that catches people's attention. Whether she's currently in the Intercontinental Championship picture or building momentum toward it, one thing is crystal clear: she's on the rise, and people are starting to take notice. That's what makes this attack so significant. Becky didn't target just anyone. She went after someone who represents the future. So here's how it all went down, Wrestling Verse family. The WWE universe was watching the show, everything seemed normal, and then boom, chaos erupts backstage. According to reports and eyewitness accounts from the locker room, Becky Lynch confronted Maxxine Dupri in the backstage area. Now, these confrontations happen all the time in wrestling, right? Superstars talk trash. They get in each other's faces, maybe they shove each other a little bit. But this was different. Becky didn't come for a conversation. She didn't come to make threats or cut a promo. The man came with intent. Without warning, without hesitation, Becky threw a devastating sucker punch that caught Maxxine completely off guard. Imagine the scene: Maxxine, possibly walking to her next segment or just minding her business, and suddenly she's floored by one of the most decorated superstars in WWE history. The locker room erupted. Superstars rushed to separate them. Officials scrambled to restore order. And Maxxine, she was left stunned, holding her jaw, trying to process what just happened. This wasn't a competitive attack in the ring where both competitors are ready. This was a statement. This was Becky Lynch sending a message to Maxxine, to the locker room, and to WWE management. I want that championship, and I'll go through anyone to get it. But why does the Intercontinental Championship factor into this? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There are a few possibilities here. Maybe Maxxine made comments about being the future of WWE and holding championship gold. Maybe she called out veterans who she thinks are past their prime. Or maybe, just maybe, Becky sees Maxxine as the gatekeeper to her Intercontinental Championship aspirations. In wrestling, you don't get opportunities by asking nicely. You take them. And Becky just took the first step in what could be an incredible journey toward making history. Let's talk about what this means for Becky Lynch's character. We've seen the man be confident. We've seen her be cocky. We've seen her be the ultimate babyface who fights for what's right. But this is a ruthless side of Becky that we haven't seen in a while. This is the Becky who will do whatever it takes to achieve her goals. This is the Becky who broke into the main event scene by being relentless and unapologetic. Some fans might see this as a heel turn. Others might see it as Becky simply doing what needs to be done in a cutthroat business. Either way, it adds a new layer to one of WWE's biggest stars, and that's exciting for storytelling. Now, from Maxxine's perspective, this could be the best thing that ever happened to her career. Think about it. She just got attacked by Becky Lynch on WWE television. That's instant credibility. That's instant attention. That's instant, I'm a big deal, status. The way Maxxine responds to this will define the next chapter of her career. Does she back down? Does she get scared? Or does she rise up and show the world that she belongs in the conversation with the absolute elite of WWE? If Maxxine fires back with the same intensity, we could be looking at a star-making feud. The veteran versus the rising star. The established legend versus the hungry newcomer. These are the stories that create magic in professional wrestling. And then there's the Intercontinental Championship itself. This situation adds a whole new dimension to that title scene. If Becky is serious about pursuing this championship, WWE might be opening the door to intergender competition at a championship level, something that would be groundbreaking in modern WWE. Or maybe this leads to a women's version of the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe WWE creates new opportunities and new stories that we haven't even considered yet. Whatever direction this goes, one thing is certain, the Intercontinental Championship just got a lot more interesting, and that's always a good thing for us fans. Wrestling vs. Family. The WWE Universe has been going absolutely crazy on social media about this attack. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, everywhere you look, fans are debating what this means. Some fans are saying, finally, give us ruthless Becky again. This is the Becky that became the man in the first place. Others are saying, why Maxxine? She didn't deserve this. This is going to be an incredible feud. And then you've got the fans who are already fantasy booking the entire storyline. Becky versus Maxxine at WrestleMania for a newly created Women's Intercontinental Championship. The passion from the fanbase shows just how much people care about these superstars and these storylines. That's the power of professional wrestling, folks. Even some wrestling legends and industry insiders have been commenting on this situation. People are talking about how this could open doors for women's wrestling to reach new heights. Others are praising both Becky and Maxxine for committing to such a physical and intense angle. This is the kind of moment that gets people talking, and in the world of WWE, that's exactly what you want. So where does this go from here? Wrestling vs. Family. Let me give you some predictions. We're definitely getting a match between these two. Whether it's next week on Raw or SmackDown, or whether they save it for a premium live event, Becky vs. Maxxine is happening. And when it does, it's going to be must-see television. Maxxine is not going to take this lying down. Expect retaliation. Expect her to catch Becky off guard. Expect this to escalate into an all-out war that involves run-ins, backstage brawls, and maybe even some stipulation matches. This storyline is clearly tied to the Intercontinental Championship, so don't be surprised if we see both women inserted into that title picture. Maybe a triple threat match. Maybe a tournament. WWE has options, and they're all exciting. Both of these superstars are going to grow from this feud. Becky might embrace a more aggressive, by any means necessary, attitude. Maxxine might show us a tougher, more resilient side that proves she belongs at the top. Character development makes feuds memorable. Here's the bottom line. Wrestling is at its best when the stories feel personal. When there's emotion. When there's stakes. This attack created all of that in one moment. We're not just getting a random match thrown together. We're getting a story about ambition, respect, legacy, and the lengths someone will go to achieve their dreams. That's compelling television. Alright, Wrestling vs. Family. That's the full breakdown of Becky Lynch's shocking attack on Maxxine Dupri and how the Intercontinental Championship plays into this explosive situation. But now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Becky or Team Maxxine in this feud? Do you think Becky should pursue the Intercontinental Championship? What match stipulation do you want to see between these two? How do you think Maxxine should respond? Let's get a discussion going in the comments. I love hearing from you all, and some of your predictions are better than what WWE actually does. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button. It helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we cover the latest WWE drama, AEW action, or any other wrestling news that's breaking the internet. This is just the beginning of what could be an absolutely legendary feud. Becky Lynch and Maxxine Dupri are both incredibly talented, and if WWE gives them the time and creative freedom to tell this story right, we could be talking about this feud for years to come. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling-verse Family. I'm your host, and I'll catch you in the next video where we break down more wrestling madness. Until then, keep the passion alive, keep supporting your favorites, and remember, in wrestling, anything can happen. Peace.